Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's fourth and final video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's final video. Day 10 will take us to the 3rd of September and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the GFS and ECM ensembles. Ready to run around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFSV2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks, and that gets us well into the second half of September. I shall get on back for you in a moment. Just see about the first video release today with our 6 AM UK weather forecast. We've also released weekend forecast and the third and final autumn 2024 season 1 roundup. That of course is ahead of the release tomorrow for the autumn forecast. So big day coming up on our channel tomorrow's release of GavsWeatherVids autumn 2024 forecast. So check out season 1 roundup and all of today's videos and content. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much everybody for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much everyone. Right, going to start off with central temperature. The CT still remains at 17.4. That's 1.6 degrees above 61 to 1990 average. That's provisional to yesterday, to the 23rd of August. We're coming into the last week of the month, still in the 17s. Yeah, so sorry about it. And I think that's going to be maintained somewhere in below 17s as we get towards a month's end, but we shall see. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles the next couple of weeks. We're at Luton today. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Luton, starting off a bit below average at the moment. Those upper air temperatures will be lifting up, though, through into next week, becoming very warm for time next week. Has flattened this off quite a bit, though. Now, you remember a few days ago, we were lifting up into that sort of level with the ensemble graph and whatnot. I mean, we are still talking about above average conditions for the first week of September. The date's on the bottom, of course. But perhaps not quite as hot as the GFS and its ensembles were indicating a couple of days ago. Nevertheless, still looking relatively warm, though, as we go through the first week of September. Precipitation-wise, this is today's rainfall spike. It's a very wet day in the south and the southeast. Going to be going drier, though, after that through the remainder of the bank holiday weekend and through much of next week. Possibly by the end of next week, turning a bit showery. But overall, that's a pretty dry ensemble graph, I have to say, for Luton. I think it's indicative of much of the southeast, where there should be a lot of dry weather over the next week or two. Temperature anomalies from the 24th of August, 1st of September, above average for England and Wales, near North Scotland and Northern Ireland. Precipitation anomalies from the 24th of August, 1st of September, wetter than average for Western Scotland, and possibly far southeast of England, but drier than average through Wales, the Midlands, and also Northern England. The latest wind from that from earth.nullschool.net shows that I've got low pressure to the north of Scotland, and we're bringing a wind from off the Atlantic today. Secondary weather system down here is shifting off and opening the door to those cooler, fresher Atlantic winds. Right, let's start going with chart data then. This is our latest UK Met Euro run. Looking for midnight on Tuesday. High pressure building into southeast, low pressure still out to the northwest. So, and into Wednesday and Thursday, well, the southeast should have a lot of dry and potentially very warm or even locally quite hot weather, but we have got low pressure out in the west. So that low pressure eventually starts meandering its way in through the latter stages of next week. So I think we're looking at like a midweek spell of very warm, locally quite hot weather for south and southeast. Better cool down, interruption towards the end of next week. Possibly by next weekend, this area of high pressure southwest Azores high basically will start pushing northwards and re-establish the fine and increasingly warm conditions through the opening days of September. Icon drawing up that southerly flow on Tuesday again, and that lasts into Wednesday as well. Thursday sees low pressure out in the Atlantic. That pushes eastwards, probably bringing some wet weather to the north. Doubt there'll be much rain down in the south, but will probably lower the temperature a bit at the end of the week. And then high pressure again re-establishes as we go through into next weekend. Where we go about high pressure, if we generate like a hot spell, that is open to question. This is how the KMA looks once more. So that low pressure meandering in again through the latter stages of next week. Do we re-establish high pressure? Yes, we do. Well, we try to, but overall the KMA looking quite unsettled here. KMA never really been convinced about this end of August, early September hot spell. I have to say. By the end of the KMA run, high pressure over Scandinavia, bringing the wind back round to more of an easterly. That's quite a coolish easterly wind as well, by the way. Not particularly warm easterly that we see there with the KMA. I say, KMA's never really been convinced about this spell of much drier, warmer, hotter weather that particularly the GFS was going for big time a couple of days ago. Well, what about the GFS midnight run? Again, we've got high pressure building up from the south through Tuesday. So very warm, locally hot in the southeast on Wednesday, then through Thursday and Friday, low pressure meandering in, but making less of that low pressure, restricting it really to the north of Scotland. And then high pressure just builds back strongly next weekend. So that is next Sunday, Thursday of September, Thursday of mid-tropical autumn, under a large area of high pressure, mostly dry and very warm. And that high pressure list carries on up to day 10 as well. GFS midnight run still going for this big time. Very warm, locally quite hot conditions. Now, by the 4th of September, day 11, we start bringing up some lower pressure to the south. That could bring some thunder into the south and the southeast. But even beyond that, still a lot of high pressure influences with the GFS midnight run. Till we get to the very end, which gets to 9th of September, there may be low pressure developing more generally across the west of Europe. And again, that would be quite a thundery low. What about the 6Z by comparison? Almost much is sort of middle part of next week. Then Thursday sees low pressure, that's a bit deeper to the north of Scotland, brings some wet weather to the north. Then high pressure re-establishes next weekend, mostly dry and very warm conditions possible. High pressure carries on dominating up to day 10 as well. The position of high this time brings something a little bit cooler in from off Atlantic though, so not a heat wave with that, but you know, would be pleasant, would be sort of low 20 Celsius temperatures, I would imagine. That high pressure carries on being in control really right way through the first week of September, so a lot of dry and warm or very warm weather there with GFS 6Z as well, with high pressure in control in the ascendancy for the first week to 10 days of September. If you're enjoying the video, please do like, share and subscribe. Make sure everyone for doing that. Drop a comment. Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe too. And we thank you so much for doing that. I think we've put around 55 subscribers now to get us out to 18.7k, by the way. So, some have moved a little bit last few days. So, thanks so much everyone for subscribing. Hello to our new subscribers. And if you aren't yet subscribed to the channel, then please give us a sub. Thank you so much. Help us to 18.7k. Right, GM, again, showing high pressure building to the south and the east on Tuesday and into Wednesday. High pressure dominates to the east coast. We're drawing up this very warm, locally quite hot southerly flow. Through Wednesday, then low pressure meanders in from the Atlantic, brings some wet weather up to the north, probably not much rain down in the south. Then high pressure builds back in behind that low through next weekend. Again, brings a lot of dry, fine, warm, very warm weather all the way up to day 10, which gets to the 3rd of September. And they've got the ECM finally rounding it all off with high pressure again to the south and the east. Low pressure is away to the northwest through Tuesday and Wednesday. Remember, low pressure meanders in through Thursday. Bring dropping the temperature and some rain up to the north. Into next weekend, high pressure then re-establishes, building up from the Azores, bring a lot of dry, fine, warm, very warm weather. Upper air temperatures look pretty warm, plus 10 Celsius iceberg up into Scotland. That should get the temperature to the mid-20s Celsius anyway, if not a bit higher. And then day 10, you know, high pressure remains in control in the ascendancy. 3rd of September, lots of dry, fine and warm weather. So we may have backed off the idea of excessive heat here, I think, through early September. We're probably not talking about a heat wave, but we are probably talking about a spell of consistent, dry and warm or very warm weather. You know, perhaps shy of 30 degrees, but certainly dry, warm, very warm weather lasting for several days through the first week of September. I think that's what we're looking at here. Mr. Precipitation forecast based on the ECM run from meteo.com. Getting rid of that heavy rain to the east through the course this afternoon. Heavy showers following along behind. Tonight and tomorrow brings more wet weather into the north and the west, but the south and the east should be mainly dry. And Bank Holiday Monday sees a drying trend as well. Tuesday brings some heavy rain into the north and west once more, mostly dry though down in the south. By the middle of next week, we have but showery conditions across the country. That's that low pressure meanders in. And then the trend after that is to dry weather as high pressure builds strongly from the Azores. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensemble today for day 10 for the Icelandic Metropolis. Gets us to the 3rd of September. 24 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure ridging in from the Atlantic into western and also northern parts of Europe. Should be a lot of dry and fine warm weather with that, includes the control and the operation room. We've got 19 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure out in the Atlantic, but also ridging into West Europe. Again, should be a lot of dry and fine weather, and 8 with high pressure, perhaps more towards Scandinavia, more of an easterly flow. Again, that should bring a lot of dry and warm weather with it in 2 weeks' time. These are the options that we've got. Gets us to the 8th of September. 12 members of the ECM ensembles with a nice ridge from the Atlantic into West Europe. Again, should be quite a bit of dry weather with that. We've got 10 with low pressure to north of Scotland, high pressure down across France, and winds coming in westerly direction. Could be a little bit more showery in the north, mostly dry though down in the south. 9 with high pressure in the Atlantic into northern Europe. Again, lots of dry and warm weather with that. 7 with low pressure Scandinavia, high pressure to the west southwest, and winds coming in off the Atlantic in the westerly direction. Another 7 with high pressure to the west and low pressure to the northeast. That brings the wind in westerly direction. And then we've got 6 with high pressure over Scandinavia, low pressure to our southwest. That's the most unsettled option. Could be rather volatile with that. Winds coming in from the south, so possibly thundering and quite warm. But that is the most unsettled of the options. To be honest, at day 10 and day 14, most of those cluster scenarios are involving high pressure, telling us that there should be a lot of dry and warm weather to enjoy through the first week to 10 days of September, as usual. CFSV2 finally brings a 500 millibar high tides break down to week periods. The first week period takes from 24th to the 30th of August. The next week has low pressure out to the northwest, so winds a little bit showery, although with high pressure building to the east, it should be turning warmer with winds coming up from the south. And then on into week 2. Since the 31st of August, 6th of September, high pressure taking over to our east, winds turning round to an easterly or a southeasterly, should be dry, fine and very warm with that. Week 3 will be the 7th to the 13th of September with high pressure to the northeast. Some sort of trough is down here and winds coming in southeasterly direction. Oh, that's going to be very warm still, but might be a little bit volatile. And then finally, week 4 looks more unsettled. 14th to 20th of September, autumn sets in then. Low pressure sitting to the north of Scotland. Winds coming in from westerly direction, so cooler and more unsettled around the middle part of September. Long way off though, 4 weeks away, so we shall see. And even then, we do still have a bit of high pressure down towards the southwest as well, by the way. That's the Azores side, but, you know, might protect south anyway from the worst of the unsettled conditions. But 4 weeks away, so we shall see. Okay, if you've enjoyed the video, please do like, share and subscribe. Make sure to everyone forward doing that. Drop a comment. So think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe too. Make sure to do that. I'll just tell us happening on the channel tomorrow. Going to have 6 AM UK weather forecast. The autumn forecast will be released tomorrow. Exciting day. Come tomorrow. I'll be live at 6 PM. We take a 14-dayer. And, of course, we'll include some long range, I think, the CFS and Beijing Climate Centre long range this week. And then Bank Holiday Monday, of course, got the historic weather video looking at 1967, 1968, the final part of the Back to the 60s series. Right, well, you enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I've got the autumn forecast to crack on with. No, that'll be released at 10 AM, as I say. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and for this one, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.